Good morning to all my students. As you know, in last lecture, I have discussed with you a very prime plant natural hormones, that is auxin. Today, I will discuss with you the second prime natural plant hormones which have reported by various scientists and play key role in plant activity. These plant hormones or phytohormones or natural hormones, as you know very well, produce in minor concentration, a very little concentration in mostly in a vegetative part of the plants. Mostly the hormones produced in very little concentration and perform specific function in the plant cells. First of all, before knowing the discovery and the physiological effect of the gibberellin, you have to know where does gibberellin are formed in the plants. Gibberellin are found in all parts of the plants, mostly in a higher plants, including stem, roots, leaves, flower, petals, anther, pollen grains, egg cells, and seeds. Gibberellins actively has also been present in chloroplast. You will be surprised after knowing that the gibberellin are present in much higher concentration, mostly in a reproductive part, that is the androecium and gynoecium, as compared than that of the vegetative part of the plants, that is the stem, root and leaves. The concentration, it has been reported by the plant physiologist that the concentration of gibberellin has been find out more in reproductive part as compared than that of the vegetative part of the plants. In immature seeds, it has been reported by plant physiologists that the gibberellin are present in more concentration. The gibberellin are present in more concentration, near about 100 milligram per fresh weight. It may be 10 to 100 milligram per fresh weight, and it is the favorite part of the plants. Immature seed is the favorable parts of the plant from which you can isolate the gibberellin directly, because of in immature seeds the concentration of gibberellin reported in more. In plants, the gibberellins may occur in two different forms, that is the free gibberellin and bound gibberellin. As you know, as the name indicates, free gibberellin are not bound to another, while the bound gibberellin sometime reported bind with glycosides, so in the form of gibberellin glycosides. Now I will discuss with you the discovery of the gibberellin in the plants. The discovery of gibberellin is quite fascinating, very interesting, and date back to about the same period when auxin were discovered. In a same time, gibberellin also discovered. A young Japanese scientist, Kurosawa, has been trying to find out why the rice seedling, which is infected by the fungus Gibberella fujicroi. As the name indicate, from this fungus, gibberellin plant hormones isolated in crystal form. First of all, Gibberella fujicroi. It is a asexual stage of Fusarium moniliforme. Grew taller and turned very thin and pale due to infection of this fungus, Gibberella fujicroi. These are the symptoms of a very common disease which known as in Japan as Bakani disease. In Japanese language it means foolish disease. So due to Gibberella fujicroi attack on a rice, the plant of rice become taller and turned very thin and pale. This disease is commonly known as Bakani disease. But in 1926, Kurosawa succeeded in obtaining a filtered extract of this fungus which could cause symptoms of Bakani disease in healthy rice seedling. In 1926, Kurosawa further tried and obtained a filtered extract of this fungus from this infected rice. In 1925, Yabuta, it is also Japanese scientist, he is also Japanese scientist, isolated the active substance which was quite heat stable and gave it name gibberellin. First of all, the term gibberellin gave by the Japanese scientist named as Yabuta in 1935. So this bioactive organic compound which known as gibberellin and act as natural hormones isolated from Gibberella fujicroi, first of all by Yabuta in crystal form. Later, Yabuta and Sumiki in 1938 isolated gibberellin in crystal form and identified gibberellin A and gibberellin B from their original preparation from the Gibberella fujicroi fungus. In fact, these were the mixture of different gibberellin which could not be separated at the same time due to lack of suitable technique. At that time, the advanced technique is not available, so could not be separated from one another. Later work represent the gibberellin A was probably a mixture of 3 biologically active, while gibberellin B a mixture of 1 biologically active and 1 inactive gibberellin. It has been discovered after some time that gibberellin is a mixture of 3 biologically active substances which affect the physiological activity in the plants. The biological activity of gibberellins and their effect on different developmental processes of the plant were also studied by Japanese workers, and later they published the effect of gibberellin on development stage in the plants. This is about the discovery of the gibberellin. Yabuta and Sumiki also identified over 60 different gibberellin which has been isolated and chemically identified. The latter, Yabuta and Sumiki, research is continuously going on, and they are succeed isolated near about 60 different gibberellin isolated, and they studied the chemical structure of these 16 different gibberellin. The gibberellin are a large family of diterpine acids. It is a member of family diterpine acid which have a common skeleton, that is the Gibbani ring. All the gibberellin having a Gibbani ring which made of a carbon hydrogen. They are differ in minute detail. All the 60 different gibberellin are so differ. They are differ in minute detail, the number and position of OH, and sometimes the position sometimes CH3 and COOH carboxylic group at different carbon atom of Gibbani ring. There is a very minute difference between among 60 different gibberellin, that is the number and position of OH and CH3 and carboxylic group at different carbon atom of Gibbani ring. These different gibberellin are named as GA1, GA2, GA3, gibberellic acid 1, gibberellic acid 2, gibberellic acid 3, gibberellic acid 4, and gibberellic acid 60, so on. GA3, out of these 60 gibberellin acid, GA3 is the prime and very main source of gibberellic acid and main studied by the Japanese scientist. Out of these 60 gibberellic acid, GA3 is the most important gibberellic acid which is well studied by Japanese scientists, is called as gibberellic acid, which is widely used by scientists to show growth promoting properties of the gibberellin. It means out of these 60 different type of gibberellic acid, GA3 gibberellic acid 3 is well studied and represent growth promoting property of the gibberellin in various plants. Apart from fungal source, as you know very well, the gibberellin isolated first of all from the fungus Gibberella fusciculi. It is a very interesting one and competitive question. Where does gibberellic acid isolated? Apart from fungal source, these hormones also isolated from the higher plants and considered as natural plant growth hormones. After the further discovery, this is the main this is the main plant hormones which are also isolated from another category of the plant except fungal source. But first of all, this gibberellic gibberellic acid, this gibberellin plant hormones first of all isolated from a fungus, Gibberella fusarium. Remember it. Now I will discuss with you the various effects of gibberellin in plant. What is the effect of gibberellin in plant? It has been studied by various plant physiologists that the gibberellin directly affect the various anabolic, catabolic and various biochemical activity of the plants, which are: first is seed germination. The effect of gibberellin on seed germination. In some light sensitive seeds, which is germinate only in presence of light, such as lettuce and tobacco, Nicotiana tobacco, so poor germination in dark. Germination starts very soon if these seeds are exposed to light or red light. This is the requirement of light is overcome if the seed are treated with gibberellic acid in dark. So if you treat the seed of these two plants with the gibberellic acid in dark also, they also germinate very well in dark if you treat it with the gibberellic acid. So in this condition there is no need of light. So the treatment of gibberellin directly affect the seed germination. Second physiological effect of the gibberellin has been studied in birds, dormancy of birds. Dormancy, it means the resting stage. Dormant stage जानते हैं, the resting stage of any vegetative parts. Buds is the parts of the very important parts of the plants. It is made of meristematic tissue and present at the node, and from these buds there is a developed lateral branches. In temperate regions, the buds formed in autumn seasons remain dormant. Dormant, it means they cannot germinate. They are at rest stage until next spring due to severe cold. This dormancy of bud can be broken by the gibberellin treatment. So you can broken the dormancy of the buds by the gibberellin treatment. In case of potato, Solanum tuberosum, it has been reported by plant physiologists that there is a dormant period after harvesting in eye bud of the potato, but the application of gibberellin sprouts the eye very soon. So if you apply the gibberellin on potato eye, they become germinate very soon. The dormancy period will short after the application of the gibberellic acid. The third one, physiological effect, which has also been studied by the plant physiologists, are the root growth. Gibberellin have little or no effect on root growth. There is no effect of the gibberellin on the root growth. At higher concentration in some plant, however, some inhibition of root growth may take place. If you apply the higher concentration of the gibberellin on root, it has been reported that the root growth will check. So it has been reported by plant physiologists that there is no effect of gibberellic acid on root growth. Next and important one is elongation of the internode. Elongation of internode. It promotes the elongation of internode. Most effect of gibberellin on the plant growth is elongation of internode, so much so that in many plants such as dwarf pea, dwarf maize, etc., they overcome the genetic dwarfism. If you apply the gibberellin treatment on a dwarf pea, dwarf maize, there is a overcome genetic dwarfism after the treatment of gibberellin. For instance, the light-grown dwarf pea plant have short internode and expanded leaves, but when treated with the gibberellin, the internode elongate and they look like tall plants. If you apply the if you treat the gibberellic acid on a dwarf pea and dwarf maize, it has been reported by plant physiologists that the internode, the cells of the internode become large and they undergoes the rapid cell division. As a result, the internode become tall after the application of the gibberellin. It is considered that in such dwarf plant there is two reasons may be happen. The gene for which is responsible for producing gibberellin is missing. So these plant remain dwarf. That is the first reason. The gene which is responsible for synthesis of gibberellin in a plant is missing. In this case, the plant will remain dwarf. Second, the concentration of the natural inhibitors is higher. This is the second one factor. The concentration of natural inhibitor is higher. If the concentration of gibberellin is higher, in this case the plant will remain dwarf. When external gibberellin is applied, the deficiency of endogenous gibberellin, which produced within inside the cells, known as endogenous gibberellin, is made good, or external gibberellin overcome the effect of natural inhibitor, will shortfall. So it is a very important physiological effect has been reported by plant physiologists. Next one is effect on flowering. Some plant physiologists have been reported the effect of gibberellin on flowering. In plants, the gibberellin treatment usually result in early flowering. Its effects are quite variable in short day plants. The plant which required very short period of light, known as short day plant, and the plant which required more intensity of light is known as long day plants. It may either have no effect or inhibit, or may active flowering. If you applying the gibberellin to the plant in which the flowering is delayed, after the treatment of the gibberellin, the flowering will be early. So it is very favorable for flowering in the plants. Next one is the effect on parthenocarpy. What is the parthenocarpy? It is a phenomena in which the seedless fruit is produced, like banana, in such a case, in formation of such a category of fruit, there is no true fertilization take place. Germination of pollen grain. As you know, what is the pollen grain? It is a male gamete. It produced in pollen sac in anther lobe of androecium. Germination of pollen grain is stimulated by gibberellin. I have discussed already with you. It has been reported by Japanese scientists that the concentration of gibberellin reported higher in a vegetative part, reproductive part as compared than that of the vegetative part. So pollen grain is a reproductive part. So the concentration of the gibberellin which produced in a pollen grain reported as higher. The germination of pollen grain is stimulated by gibberellin. Likewise, the growth of the fruit and the formation of parthenocarpic fruit can be induced by gibberellin treatment. What happens if you apply the gibberellin on plant? In such a condition, the pollen grain become stimulated, their germination will start very soon. So the pollen germination is so important phenomena during the fertilization. What happens? When the pollen grain produced within the pollen sac, and they become when they become mature, they after the dehiscence of the anther wall, they become ruptured, and and after rupturing by the help of pollinator, they reach on the stigma. The stigma is the female reproductive. Stigma is the uppermost part of the gynoecium. It receives the pollen grain, and as you know very well, on stigma there is already stigmatic fluid are present, and the stigma and more pollen grain adhere with this stigmatic fluid, and in presence of this stigmatic fluid, the pollen grain absorb the stigmatic fluid, and due to turgor pressure, the intine come out by the rupturing of exine of the pollen grain, and they become germinate. But if you apply the gibberellin, it has been reported by plant physiologists that it stimulates the germination of pollen grain. In such a condition, the formation of parthenocarpic seedless fruit also induced by the gibberellin treatment. In many cases, example pomegranate, pome fruits where auxin have failed to induce parthenocarpic, the gibberellin have proven to be successful. देखिए बहुत it is a very important point कि it has been reported by scientists that if you apply the auxin treatment on a pome fruit, the parthenocarpic fruit will fail. If you apply the gibberellin treatment on the fruit, it has been proven to be successful. In this condition, when you apply the gibberellin on such a plant which produce the pome fruit, the parthenocarpic fruit will produce quickly. Seedless and fleshy tomatoes and large sized grapes are produced by gibberellin treatment on commercial scales. So farmers utilize at major scales of gibberellin. As you know, it is finding that if you want to seedless, fleshy tomato and large sized grape, so you have to apply natural plant growth, that is the gibberellin. So it will be beneficial for commercial scales. You may earn more money. And next one is, it is also affect the light inhibited stem growth, यानी कि लाइट की प्रेजेंस में स्टेम की ग्रोथ का चेक होना क्या कहलाता है? लाइट इनहिबिटेड स्टेम ग्रोथ. In common observation that the dark grown plants, the plant which grow very well in dark, become etiolated and have taller, thinner and pale stem, while the light grown plant have shorter, thicker and green stem, and it may be concluded that the light has inhibitory effect on stem elongation. It has been proved by the plant physiologists that the light play an important role, and it checks the stem elongation. It inhibits the cell division in stem. Treatment of light grown plants with gibberellin also stimulates the stem growth, and they appear to be dark brown. After the treatment of gibberellin, it has been finding that the stem, the growth in the stem become rapid. As a result, they appear to be dark brown. In such cases, their protein content of the stem fall, while soluble nitrogen content increases, probably due to more breakdown of protein than their synthesis. In such a cases, when you apply the gibberellin in such plant, in this cases, protein content of the stem fall, protein content of stem become low, while soluble nitrogen content increases, probably due to more breakdown of protein than their synthesis. यानी कि प्रोटीन का ब्रेकडाउन ज़्यादा हो रहा है और उसका वो सिंथेसिस कम हो रही है, तो इसलिए प्रोटीन कंटेंट जो है स्टेम में कम हो जाता है, लो हो जाता है. इट इज़ कंसिडर्ड दैट द लाइट इन सम वे लोअर द लेवल ऑफ एंडोजीनियस जिब्रेलिन एंड इनहिबिट द स्टेम ग्रोथ. तो इट हैज़ बीन प्रूव बाय द प्लांट फिजियोलॉजिस्ट दैट जो इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ लाइट द लेवल ऑफ एंडोजीनियस जिब्रेलिन बिकम लो. In such condition, the stem, the growth of the stem become slow. Clear? And last one is, some plant physiologists observe that the gibberellin directly affect on synthesis of enzyme alpha amylase in plants. One of the most important function of gibberellin, plant hormones, is to cause synthesis of the enzyme amylase in the alluron layer of endosperm of cereals grain during germination. As you know very well, what is the endosperm? Endosperm is a nutritive tissue of the seed, and the embryo embedded within the cells of the endosperm. So like tapetum, endosperm provide the food to the embryo during the seed germination. And one of the important function of gibberellin, if you apply the gibberellin on plants, it promote the synthesis of enzyme amylase in alluron layer of endosperm. Alluron layer, always enzyme synthesis in seed in alluron layer of endosperm during seed germination. This enzyme bring about hydrolysis of starch to form simple sugar, which are then translocated to growing embryo to provide energy source. What happen when you apply the gibberellin? When you apply the gibberellin on a cereal plants, wheat, rice, maize, etc., what happen? After applying the gibberellin, it has been observed by plant physiologists that it promotes the synthesis of gibberellin in the alluron layer of the endosperm, which is favorable for hydrolysis of starch. As you know very well, within the endosperm cells, the carbohydrates are present in the form of starch. It is a polysaccharide carbohydrate, and it is very essential. The oxidation of sugar or not take place in the form of starch. First of all, it is very necessary the starch become hydrolyzed into simple sugar. So as you know very well, if you study the respiration, the raw material for respiration is glucose. First of all, the polysaccharide carbohydrate in presence of enzyme alpha amylase break down into simple sugar, that is the glucose, and then in presence of oxygen, this glucose break down into simpler inorganic substances, that is the carbon dioxide and water, and by product we get energy. So this energy we gain in the form of ATP, and this ATP simple sugar which then translocated to growing embryo and to provide energy, and this ATP is utilized during the seed germination and then transferred this energy to embryo. What happen? As you know very well, embryo is the baby of the seed, and it is made of the meristematic cells, and all the cells of embryo have the potential to produce new one plants. So what happen? When the seed becomes germinate, the radical portion and the plumule portion of the embryo required energy in the form of ATP, because after cell division they become germinate, they produce the radicle, they produce the plumule. From the radical region they produce the root system, and from plumule they produce the shoot system. What happened? As you know very well, the after the cell division, the radical portion cells produce the root system, and plumule portion of the cells produce the shoot system. And cell division is energy required process. So this energy come from the simple sugar after the oxidation in presence of oxygen in the form of ATP. So you can say end of the day that cell division is energy required process. Without energy, the cell division does not take place. As a result, the seed germination does not take place in absence of ATP. So for seed germination, energy is so required for cell division. Thank you. Have a nice day. I hope you understand something from this topic. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.